Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Currently, there's 22. Maybe we give like 3 minutes and then we can start.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll wait for some time.
Sir, you can start the class, sir.
Should I start, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, dear students. Today we are being continuing again the chapter of your vectors part evaluation. I hope you have done the work which have been given from the S.A. Varma solved examples 1 to 7. If you have any doubts in that one, please let me know on the WhatsApp group, because we have already got a group, so in which you can ask your doubts part. So let us try to continue with the class right now. Keep the next slide reading right now. It is the position vector. Next slide reading is right now for me position vector. Position vector. Position vector is nothing but a vector used to locate a vector used to locate a vector used to locate the position of a point, the position of a point, the position of a point in space is called position vector, is called position vector. So what is a position vector? A vector used to locate the position of a point, in space is called as of your position vector point of relation. The point relative to which the required position is determined is called as of your reference. That means we always require a reference point to calculate the position vector. Like say in this one, if I'm taking right, this one is your x-axis, this one is your y-axis, isn't it? Now see, this is your origin. This is known as of your reference point. This is known as of your reference point, or also we call it as of your origin. We also call it as of your origin. So in x and y, somewhere I am located at a point of your A, isn't it? Now to tell my position, what we'll do is we'll draw a vector which joins from the point of O to your point of your A, like this, isn't it? So this length will give me the magnitude. O to A will give me the magnitude, and that is represented by the R bar, and that is represented by your R bar part of relation. That means for a point P, it is in the coordinate of your x comma y. It is in the coordinate of your x comma of your y part of relation. So the position vector is represented by, I am representing it this one by your R bar. So this one is your R bar part of relation. So this point P or point A, whatever I am taking, it is having a coordinate as of your x-axis and as well as of your y-axis. This is x-axis and this is your y-axis part of relation. And if it is making some angle right now for your theta, I can resolve the vector along your x-axis and I can resolve the vector along your y-axis part of relation. So for defining the position vector, a reference point is must. Without the help of a reference point, I can't tell where is the point A in the space part of relation. So to tell the position of the point A in the space, I should always know the reference. That means to define the position vector, reference point or origin is must. Without the reference point or origin, you cannot define the position vector. Now, if I resolve this vector into the components right now, we know that along x-axis, this will become for me your Rxi cap, and along y-axis, it will become for me Ryj cap, isn't it? That means the position vector R bar can be written as right now, R bar is equals to your x into your I cap, that is R along your xi cap plus of your R along your y. Or else directly we can write this one as of your R bar is equals to your xi cap plus of your yj cap part of relation. Anything whichever you feel comfortable, you can write it, that's not a problem. So R bar is equals to your xi cap plus of your yj cap, isn't it? So the magnitude of the position vector is given by what? Distance between the point and as well as of your origin. If it's asking the magnitude, what will be the magnitude here, beta? O to A will be the magnitude. That means larger, smaller, that depends upon the distance between O to A. So O to A will give me the length, or also known as of your magnitude. So I hope you're clear what is the definition of a position vector. It is also a 2-mark question for your board examinations, beta. Position vector is nothing but a vector used to locate the position of the point in space is called as position vector. So to define the position vector, reference point or origin is required or not required? It is required. 110% it is requiring the reference point or origin. Without the help of the reference point or without the help of the origin, we cannot define the position vector. So this R bar is resolved into its component, X component and Y component. So that is the reason I'm writing R bar is equals to Xi cap plus of your Yj cap, or else you can write R bar is equals to Rxi cap plus of your Ryj cap. I hope you're clear with this one. No. Okay, sure. Take a snapshot of this one. Let us try to go for the next part. That is nothing but of your position vector. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, beta. Any doubt? Any doubt in this one, beta?
Yes.
What doubt, beta? You can ask me your doubt. Is there any doubt, or shall I go for the next point? Hello? Am I audible, beta?
Yes, sir. Students,
tell me.
if you have any doubts, just unmute and then ask your question.
Is there any doubt?
Yeah, I think nobody is having doubts, sir.
Okay, chalo. So let us try to go for the next side heading. That is, okay, before going for next side heading, let us try to do one small problem on this one. Better take a small problem. The question says me right now, a particle in the XY plane, a particle in XY plane, a particle in your XY plane, I'll take the next marker, XY plane,
Hello.
is better, XY plane is located at a distance of 5 meters from origin. Is located at a distance of 5 meters from origin. 5 meters from origin at an angle of 37 degrees with x-axis. At an angle of 37 degrees with x-axis. Within 37 degrees with x-axis. Define or determine its position vector. Determine its position vector. Based upon the position vector, I'm giving a small numerical. Let us try to do this one better. A particle is in what? A particle in XY plane is located at a distance of what? 5 meters from the origin. At an angle of 37 degrees with your x-axis. Determine its position vector is asking. Determine its position vector. Can I
Sir, 7.
How much?
Is it 7?
Tell me in
Sir,
vector.
is
Tell me in vectors, not magnitude. In vector.
X I cap, it means 4I cap plus 3J cap.
Very good. 4I cap plus 3J cap. See here. This is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. The particle is in XY plane and it is located at a distance of 5 meters from origin. From this origin, this is your 5 meters. It is making an angle of your how much? 37 degrees. It is making an angle of your 37 degrees with your x-axis. If I resolve this one, this will become for me 5 into cos 37 and this will become for me 5 into sine 37. So this will be the relation, right? So this will be y, this will be x, and this will be equal to your r. So x value is equal to this one is your x, and this will be equal to your y. So x coordinate, if I'm writing right now for the given condition, so x, how do you write the position vector right now for me? R bar is equals to 5 into your cos 37 I cap plus this one is nothing but 5 into sine 37 j cap. So R bar is equals to your 5 into your cos 37 is how much? But I told you last time cos 37 is equals to 4 by 5, 4 by 5. Trigonometric, this value is 37. This value will be equal to your 90 and this will be equal to your 53 automatically. So cos 37 is nothing but of your 4 by 5 I cap plus 5 into your, this one is nothing but sine 37. Can anyone tell me what is the sine 37 beta? Sine 37 is equals to how much for me? 3 by 5. 3 by 5 in terms of j cap. So this 5 gets cancelled. This 5 gets cancelled. So r bar is equals to 4 I cap plus of your 3 j cap. Can anyone tell me the magnitude of this one beta? If I am talking about magnitude, mod r is equals to under root of your 4 square plus of your 3 square. That is equals to under root of 4 square is 16 plus 3 square is nothing but of your 9. Root 16 plus 9 is how much for me? Root 25. So that will be equal to how much for me? 5. That's the resultant what we got. Clear? I hope you are clear with this one. Okay, chalo. Take a snapshot of this one better. Let us try to go for the next vector that is known as of your this position vector is very important to understand even the kinematics better. That is the reason I have gone in detailed way. Otherwise, if there were other students, I would have been told you in one line basically. But this is very huge important. It plays a very huge importance in the kinematics chapter and Newton's laws of motion. Even the next one which we are trying to discuss is also very huge important. So try to remember the method how we are writing the condition. Take the next heading right now, displacement vector. Next heading is your displacement vector. Displacement vector. Okay. Now see here. So if I'm talking about the displacement vector right now, the displacement vector is nothing but what? Change in the position vector, I can say. It is change in position vector. It is change in position vector. It is change in position vector. And it is generally denoted by your S bar or anything, but it depends upon the given condition right now. So it is change in what? Your position vector. And it is independent of your origin. Displacement vector doesn't, it is independent. It is independent of reference point, reference or origin. So it is not depending upon the reference or the origin, I can see. Let's say for example, this is your position vector. This is your y-axis. This is your x-axis. And this one is your origin. You know that position vector will depend upon what beta? Origin. That is nothing but of this one. So I'm having some point P1 here. And say for example, this is a position vector. Now how to write the position vector right now from this one? If I draw the line from the origin O to your P. So this is representing the position vector. That is R1 bar. Now say for example, I'm going from P1 to a new position somewhere right now here. This is nothing but of your P2. So I'm going from your P1 to P2. Now what is my new position vector beta? Can anyone tell me? Now again, if I need to draw the position vector from the origin, I need to draw a line like this. So this is your new position vector. That is nothing but of your R2. So when I am at a point P1, my origin, my position vector is R1. When I am at a point P2, my position vector is of your R2. The line joining P1 and P2 is known as of your displacement vector. That means the coordinates of this one will be x1, y1. And the coordinates for this one will be equal to x2, y2. Isn't it? So that will be the displacement vector for me. So this is the displacement of your from 1 to your 2 I can write. That is nothing but of your S bar. S, I'm representing the displacement vector by your S. So S is nothing but your from your 1 to your 2 part of relation right now. So what is an R1 right now? R1 is the first position vector when it is at your P1. R2 is the second position vector when it is nothing but of your R2 at a point of your P2 part of relation. The line joining from P1 to P2 is known as a displacement vector, and that is represented by your S12 because you are going from the first point to your second point. So that is from P1 to your P2. That is the reason I have represented displacement from your 1 to your 2 part of relation. I hope you are clear with this one. Then I can either apply the triangle law of vector addition right now. Okay, tell me what will be the value of R1 and R2 beta? Everyone. R1 bar is equals to your. So this one is nothing but x1 I cap plus y1 j cap. The same way R2 bar will be equal to how much beta? X2 into your I cap plus y2 into your j cap. Now see here, is it not forming a triangle law? You see, O to P1 is one vector and P1 to P2 is another vector. Two vectors taken in the same order. The closing side of the vector taken in the opposite order will give me the resultant. This is nothing but O. This one is P1. This one is nothing but of your P2. Now from the triangle law, if I'm writing right now from this one, from triangle law, from your triangle law, if I'm writing the given condition, what will be the relation right now, beta? O P1, O to P1. That is nothing but of your O P1 bar plus P1 P2 bar, P1 P2 bar must be equal to your opposite resultant. That must be equal to your O P2 bar. Must be equal to your O P2 bar part of relation. O to P bar, I'm representing it by what, beta? R1 bar plus P1 to P2 is nothing but of your S1 to your S2 bar. That is equal to O to P bar is nothing but of your R2 bar. So what is the position vector, beta? Position vector, if I'm writing right now from this one, S of your 1 to 2 will be equal to your R2 minus of your R1. That is R2 bar minus of your R1 bar. So this is your position vector. So position vector is nothing but of your final point minus initial point. That means final position vector minus initial vector part of relation. This one I have done it detailedly to get your clarity. But in the coming parts, you can neglect this all condition. The displacement vector directly you can write as of your R2 minus of your R1 part of relation. Now if I'm writing in terms of X and Y part of relation, can you tell me how to write the value of this one? R2 value is equal to how much for me? R2 value is equal to X2. And R1 is nothing but of your X1. That means I can write this one as of your X2 minus of your X1 into your I cap. Can I write like this one better? X2 minus of your X1 I cap. The same way plus this one is nothing but of your what do you call that one? This one will become for me
Y2 minus Y1
J
J
cap
cap.
in terms of coordinate. If it is in 3 dimension, then you can write this one as of your X2 X1 Y2 Y1 plus Z2 Z3. Sorry, Z2 minus Z1 part of relation. I hope you are clear with this one. I've written this one in 2 dimension. If it is in 3 dimension, we also get the K cap. That is nothing but of your Z2 minus of your Z1. So I hope you are clear with this one. Displacement vector is nothing but what? A change in position vector. And it is dependent on difference. See, is this depending upon the reference point? No. But position vector is depending upon the reference point. But in the displacement vector is independent of your reference point or origin. So R1 value you got value of R2 from triangle. If I'm simplifying, position vector of your 1 to 2 will be equal to how much for me? R2 minus R1. Or else I can write this one as of X2 minus X1 I cap plus Y2 minus Y1 J cap part of relation. I hope you're clear with this one. Clear? I hope everyone is clear with the displacement vector. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, chalo. Let us try to take one example and try to keep the full stop for the displacement vector. So take one question there, beta. Take a paper and pen and try to do the answer questionly. A force acting on a body. A force acting on a body. A force acting on a body displaces it from position vector R1 bar is equals to position vector R1 bar is equals to 2 I cap minus J cap plus 3 K cap. 2 I cap minus of J cap plus 3 K cap meters to R2 bar is equals to 5 I cap minus 2 J cap plus of your 4 K cap meter. 4 K cap meter. Okay. What the question is right now for me? Find the displacement vector. Then find the displacement vector. Come on, do it. One line answer, beta.
3 I cap minus J cap minus 1 K cap. Sorry, plus 1 K cap.
Very good. Displacement vector directly I just now told you S is equals to R2 bar minus R1 bar. So R2 bar is nothing but right now 5i minus of your 2i. So this is nothing but of your 5i cap minus 2j cap plus of your 4k cap minus this one is R1 bar. R1 bar is nothing but of your 2i cap minus j cap plus of your 3k cap. 5i minus of your 2i. This will become for me how much? 3i minus 2i minus of your this one will become for me how much for me? Minus of your j cap. Then 4 minus of 4 minus of your 3 that will be equal to how much for me? K cap. So the answer for this one is nothing but how much for me? S bar is equals to 3i cap minus 1j cap plus of your 1k cap. This is in vector. If someone is asking its magnitude, can anyone tell me the magnitude of this one, beta? Magnitude, if is writing, so we'll write with the magnitude like this symbol. In the mod, in the 2 lines, we'll write the magnitude that will be equal to under root of your. This one is 3 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. That is equals to 3 square is 9 plus 1 plus 1. So that will be equal to root 11. Clear?
So what is the formula for finding out the magnitude?
I told you, no, magnitude vector A bar is represented by, in unit vector, A bar is equals to your under root of your ax square plus ay square plus az square in 3 dimension. In 2 dimension, it will be A bar is equals to under root of your ax square plus of your ay.
Square.
Isn't it? So the negative term will also will become for me positive. That is the reason I'm simply squaring it and rooting it. That's it. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, chalo. Let us try to go for the next one. Chalo. Next heading is multiplication of a vector. Next heading is multiplication of a vector. Multiplication of a vector. So we are having 3 types of multiplication in this one, beta. Number one, when scalar is multiplied with a vector, that is one type of your multiplication. Second one is when a vector is multiplied with your vector. When a vector is multiplied with a vector. And third one is also a vector multiplied with a vector. These are the 3 types of your multiplications, beta. The first one is nothing but of your scalar multiplied by a vector. And second one is multiplied by a vector to a vector. And third one is nothing but a vector multiplied with your vector part of relation. That is our basic conditions right now. Let's see here right now. The scalar is multiplied by a vector. What do you mean by that one? A scalar is nothing but number. Vector is nothing but anything. When a scalar is multiplied with a vector, it will increase that many number of times. Like say for example, if I'm having a bar is equals to like say that is nothing but 3 times of your b. That means 3 is number and b is nothing but vector. It is multiplied with a scalar and as well as of a vector. So again, we are getting a number partition, isn't it? So one is nothing but of your scalar multiplied with your vector that will increase that many number of your times. If a bar is multiplied with 4, that means it increases by 4 times. If it is multiplied with the 8, it is increasing by your 8 times. That is the general vectors which you go it from the basic mathematics. Now, second one is when a vector is multiplied with a vector. When a vector is multiplied with a vector, we get a scalar. We get a scalar which is known as of a scalar product or also known as of your dot product or also known as of a dot product. So when a vector and vector are multiplied and the result is a number. Scalar means what? A number. If 2 vectors when they have been multiplied and the resultant if you are getting a number, that will be called as of your scalar product or also called as of your dot product. In third case right now if I'm doing, when a vector and vector are being multiplied right now, and if you are getting a vector back and if you are getting a vector, so it is known as of your vector product or also called as of your cross product or also called as of what? Cross product. So this will be doing in details part of relation beta. Second one and third one will be doing because first one is a general mathematics only. If I am multiplying any vector with your number, that will increase that many number of your time. That is a basic conditions which you need to remember. Second one is very important for me. When a vector and vector are being multiplied, and if this product is a scalar, that is known as a what? Dot product. And if a vector and vector are being multiplied, if the result is a vector, that is called as of your cross product or also called as of your vector product of the given condition. I hope you're clear with this one. Okay. Sure. So this is about your multiplication of a vector. When a scalar is being multiplied with a vector, it will increase that many number of your times. It will be increasing that many number of your times part of a relation. Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? So let us try to do in detail right now. The next one is nothing but if you keep the next heading, scalar or dot product. Is it clear for everyone? See, when a scalar is multiplied, when a vector is multiplied by any number, that will increase that many number of times. If vector and vector are multiplied, if a result is a scalar, that is known as dot product or scalar product. If a vector is multiplied with a vector and if a result is a vector, that is known as of a vector product or also called as of your cross product. Okay, let us try to do this one in detail. Keep the first heading right now for us. That is nothing but of your scalar or dot product. Scalar or we also call it as a what? Dot product. Scalar or this one is your dot product. Scalar or dot product. It is represented by dot beta. That is the reason we are using the word called the right now your dot part of a relation. That is nothing but the scalar or dot product of the scalar or dot product of any two vectors. Any two vectors. Let's say A bar and B bar. Any two vectors A bar and B bar denoted by A bar dot B bar. Denoted by A bar dot B bar. It is read as A bar dot B bar. It is read as what? A bar dot of your B bar. And it is defined as defined as the product of, I told you, when two vectors are being multiplying right now. Two vectors means like A bar dot of your B bar. A bar dot of your B bar, that will be equal to magnitude of your A, magnitude of your B into your cos theta. A bar dot B bar is equals to mod A mod B into your cos theta, or directly that can be written as of your A B into your cos theta part of relation. So when two vectors are being multiplied, the resultant is given by the relation mod A mod B into your cos theta, or directly we can write it as of your AB into your cos theta part of relation. What is the theta here? Theta is the angle between the two vectors. If this is a vector A bar and this is the vector of your B bar, theta is the angle between them. That is nothing but of your theta part of relation. So what is the scalar product or dot product? The scalar or dot product of any two vectors in A bar and B bar is denoted by A bar dot B bar, and it is read as what? A bar dot B bar. And it is defined as what? A bar dot B bar is equals to magnitude of A, magnitude of B into cos theta. Because magnitude if you take, you get a number. Magnitude of the B also if you take, you get a number. And cos theta value is also a number. So we are getting a number here. That is the reason we are calling it as of your scalar product, or also called as of your dot product part of relation. Clear? So I can say that A, B and cos theta are nothing but of your scalar part of relation. That is the dot product of A bar and B bar is a scalar quantity. That is why the dot product of two vectors when multiplied in this way are known always called as of what? Scalar products part of relation. It can be positive, it can be negative, or it can be zero according to the value of theta, acute, obtuse, or it may be right angle part of relation, because theta can be anything right now for me. So depending upon that, A bar dot B bar can be either positive, it can be either negative, or it can either be zero depending upon the value of your theta part of relation. Even if you need to write, you can write that point also right now, keeping a star mark right now. Dot scalar product can be. Scalar product can be, it may be either positive, negative, or zero. It can be positive, comma, negative, or zero, which is depending upon what beta? On the angle of your theta. I can write here, according to angle theta. According to the angle theta. You say, for example, if it is acute, it is known as positive. Obtuse, it will be negative, or say right angle to the each other, or right angle. Okay. So scalar product can be either positive, negative, or zero according to the angle theta. If theta is acute, it will be positive. Obtuse, it will be negative, and right angle triangle, it will be your zero part of relation. I hope you're clear with this one, beta. Okay. So that is the definition of your scalar product. What is the definition of a scalar product or dot product? If two vectors are being multiplied, if the resultant is a scalar, it is called as a scalar product or dot product. Simple language and simple condition. You need to remember this much only. Nothing is there in this one. And the scalar product can be positive, negative, or zero, because cos theta, you know, as a trigonometry value, it can be either positive, negative, or zero, depending upon the value, whether it is an acute, whether it is an obtuse, or it is a right angle triangle part of relation. I hope you are clear for this one. Clear for everyone? Sure. Let us try to go a little bit detailed part of relation of this one. Sure. First one I'm taking right now. Number one. When theta is lesser than or equal to whatever the value of a theta I'm taking right now, that is nothing but a few 0 degrees lesser than or equal to theta. Theta is lesser than 90 degrees. 0 degrees lesser than or equal to theta. Theta is lesser than or lesser than of your theta. Then a bar dot b bar will be better. A bar dot b bar will be mod a mod b into your cos theta. It will be your positive. It will be your positive. That means the diagram will be somewhat like this. So this is a vector a bar and this is the vector b bar. Isn't it? From 0 to below 90 degrees, it will be your positive part of relation. In the same way, if I'm taking right now, theta is equals to your 90 degrees. When theta is equals to 90 degrees, I mean to say a bar is perpendicular to, that is a bar is perpendicular to your b bar. A bar is perpendicular to your b bar part of relation. Then what will be the value of a bar dot b bar beta? A bar dot b bar will be mod a mod b into your cos 90. Cos 90 will be equal to how much? 0. It will be your 0 part of relation. How will be the vectors right now in this one? This is the vector a bar and this will be the vector b bar. Angle between them is how much for me? 90 degrees. Angle between them is how much? 90 degrees. And third one is right now when it is greater than 90 degrees. That is nothing but of your 90 degrees. I can write here right now when 90 degrees, if I'm taking right now, it is lesser than of your theta and theta is lesser than or equal to your 180 degrees or 180 degrees. Theta lesser than of your theta. So 90 degrees lesser than the theta or theta lesser than or equal to your 180 degrees part of relation. Then what will be the value of a bar dot b bar beta? A bar dot b bar will be mod a mod b theta. That will be a negative. That will be your negative part. That means how will be vector diagram for this one? If this is a vector a bar and this will be the vector b bar. Because theta should be equal to, by what law right now? Parallelogram law of vector addition. Tail of the first vector is attached to the tail of the second vector. So angle between them is nothing but of your greater than 90 degrees. Greater than 90 degrees. It is greater than 90 degrees. So the product of a bar dot b bar will be a negative term. Will be a negative term part of relation. Clear for everyone? So when 0 lesser than theta, theta lesser than 90, it is positive. When theta 90 degrees, it is 0. When theta is greater than 180 degrees right now, it will be equal to how much for me? Negative term part of relation. The same thing which I told you in the previous conditions. Done. Is it clear for everyone? Are these 3 points clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next side heading. Scalar product between I, J and K. Scalar product between I, J and K. What are I, J and K are known as beta? Unit vectors. They are known as of what? Unit vectors are also called, or what is the angle between I, J and K? 90 degrees. So they are also called as of what? Orthogonal unit vectors. Yeah. So this one is your X, this one is your Y, and this one is nothing but of your Z. Isn't it? So if I'm talking about the vectors part of relation, along x-axis we represent your I cap. Along x-axis we are having right now Y cap. Along y-axis we are having right now J cap. And along z-axis we are representing right now this one as K cap. Angle between them is 90. Angle between them is 90. And angle between them is also your 90 degrees. So they are also called as of what? Orthogonal unit vectors. Orthogonal unit vectors. So let us try to take the dot product of the parallel unit vectors. taking dot product of parallel vectors. That is I cap dot I cap. If two vectors are same, I cap dot I cap, that is equals to mod of your I into mod of your I into cos. Angle between I and I will be equal to how much vector? 0. So I cap dot I cap will be mod of I value is nothing but 1 into your 1 into cos 0 is also 1. So that will be equal to how much for me? 1. So I dot I will always be equal to how much beta 1, because cos 0 degrees is equal to how much for me? 1. Cos 0 is nothing but equal to how much for me? 1. So I dot I is equals to 1. Similarly, J dot J is also equal to 1 and K dot K is also equal to 1. So therefore I can write I cap dot I cap. That means whenever you are multiplying I cap and I cap, the value will always be equal to 1. That is also equal to your J cap dot J cap, and it is also equal to your K cap dot K cap. This is always equals to how much for me? 1. It is always equals to your 1. So I cap dot I cap is equals to J cap dot J cap is equals to K cap dot K cap is equals to always 1. While doing the problems, you try to remember that when two similar vectors are being multiplied, that is nothing but dot product of your two parallel vectors or same vectors, when angle between them is 0, is known as of equal to always equals to 1. So I dot into I dot, or J dot into J dot, or K dot into K dot will always be equal to your one part of relation. This is the first point you need to remember in the scalar products between I, J, and as well as of your K. Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
beta.
why
Next
why
one.
did we take cos 0 degrees, sir?
Why?
Why did you take cos 0?
Parallel vectors I told you. Parallel vector means this is I cap.
Okay.
This one is also I cap. Angle between them will be how much? 0.
0.
Okay. Or else if you even take like this, angle between them is how much for me? 0 parallel vectors. Okay.
Okay.
Chalo. Next one. Taking the dot product of your perpendicular unit vectors. Taking dot product of perpendicular unit vectors. Can you tell me what will be the answer? Can you tell me what will be the answer for that one?
0.
Very
Into
good.
J
I cap
equals to
dot J cap. I cap dot J cap is equals to mod I mod J into cos theta is how much for me? 90. Cos 90 is how much? 0. So therefore I can write I cap dot J cap, angle between this two I and J will always be equal to dot product of I and J is always equal to how much for me? 0. So similarly I can write J cap dot your K cap. J and K angle is also equal to how much? 90. So that will be equal to 0. And K cap dot your I cap. K cap dot of your I cap is also equal to your 0. Is also equal to your 0 part of relation. So now can I say right now for the given condition, I cap dot I cap, or the given condition if I'm writing, that is always equal to your how much for me? 0. This always be equal to your 0. So there is nothing but I cap dot J cap is equals to your this one is nothing but if your J cap dot K cap is equals to your K cap dot your I cap is always equals to how much for me? 0. I cap dot J cap, J cap dot your K cap, and K cap dot I cap will always be equal to how much for me? 0. Even if I'm taking J and K, isn't it? Or I'm taking right now anything, that is always equals to how much for me? 0, because they are always sort of perpendicular to each other. So unit vector which have been perpendicular to each other. So scalar product of that one is always equals to your 0. It is always equals to your 0. Even if I take like this also the same beta. Like J cap, if I'm talking right now from here, K cap cross your J cap is equals to J cap cross your I cap is equals to I cap dot your K cap. This is also equal to how much for me? 0. Whether you go like this or whether you come like this, the angle between them is always 90. So the cross product of, the dot product of your two unit vectors which have been perpendicular will always be equal to 0. This plays a very important role in the coming chapters beta. So the dot product of your parallel vectors is equals to how much for me? 1. And the dot product of the perpendicular vectors is always equals to 0.
0.
So I dot I, J dot J, K dot K is equals to 1. I dot J, J dot K, and K dot I is equals to 0. I hope you're clear with this one.
Sir.
Clear? Chalo. Take the next heading, beta. Properties of scalar product. Next heading is right now properties of scalar product. Properties of scalar product. Properties of scalar product. First one. The dot product of a vector with itself will always give the square of its magnitude beta. What I'm telling you right now, the dot product of a vector, the dot product of a vector with itself will give square of that will given conditions right now will give me what? Square of its magnitude will give square of its magnitude. The dot product of a vector with itself gives the square of the magnitude. Like say for example, if I'm taking you a bar dot a bar will be equal to mod a into cos theta between them is how much for me? 0 degrees. So mod of your a is how much for me? A. And mod of your a is also a. Cos theta is equal, cos 0 is how much for me? 1. So this value comes out to be equal to how much for me? Or a square. So the dot product of vector with itself, a bar dot a bar, b bar dot b bar, or anything right now, that is always equals to what? Square of its magnitude. Square of its magnitude part of relation. Example, if I take it about right now, like in your school days, you have written the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is equals to half into m into v square. This can be written as of your what? Half into m. V square means what actually? This one is v bar dot v bar. That is what exactly it means in the physics. So it is v square is nothing but what? Two vectors when they have been multiplied, we are getting the relation that is half into m into v square. So v square means I can write here it as of your v bar dot of your v bar part of relation. I hope you're clear with this one. So whenever a dot product of a vector with itself you're taking, it will always gives me what? The square of the magnitude. It always gives me what here? Square of its magnitude. Like a bar dot b bar, a bar dot b bar is equals to your mod a. Theta between them is nothing but 0. So it will give me what? A square. This is giving me right now a square. So example for this one is kinetic energy is equals to half into m into v square. V square means I can write it as of your v bar dot of your v bar part of relation. I hope you're clear with this one, isn't it? So let us try to take the second property of your dot product. Second property of a dot product says that the dot product of two vectors always obeys your mathematics law, commutative law. That means the dot product of two vectors, dot product of two vectors, obeys your commutative law. Obeys your commutative law. What is the commutative law, beta? A bar dot b bar must be equal to a bar dot b bar must be equal to your b bar dot a bar. A bar dot b bar is equals to b bar dot of your a bar part of relation. By definition, if I'm writing a bar dot b bar, by definition of dot product, by definition of your dot product, a bar dot b bar is equals to mod a mod b into cos theta, and b bar dot a bar is equals to mod b mod a into your cos theta. So whether you write like a bar dot b bar or b bar dot a bar, that will give me one and the same right now. So this is right now equal to how much for me? AB into your cos theta, and this is also equal to how much for me? AB into your cos theta. So that is the reason a bar dot a bar is always equals to your b bar dot a bar. So this is the second property of your what do you call that one? Scalar product. The product of the two vectors obeys your what law? Commutative law. Commutative law says that a bar dot b bar is equals to b bar dot a bar. Why? Because from the definition of a dot product, a bar dot b bar is mod a mod b into cos theta, that is equals to ab cos theta, and b bar dot a bar is equals to mod b mod a into cos theta, that is nothing but equal to your ab into your cos theta part of a relation. Clear? Sure. Take the third property. Third property says right now, the dot product obeys your even the distributive law beta. The dot product obeys your distributive law. I hope you remembered in your school days. What do you mean by the distributive law? It is nothing but of your A bar dot B bar plus of your C bar. A bar dot B bar plus of your C bar is equals to your A bar dot B bar plus of your A bar dot C bar. A bar dot C bar. The dot product also obeys your distributive law. So A bar dot B bar is equals to your A bar dot B bar plus C bar is equals to your A bar dot B bar plus of your A bar dot C bar part of relation. I hope you are clear with this one. Okay. Clear? So that are the some of the properties of your scalar product which you should able to remember part of relation. Now remaining upon the value of theta and what you call that another angles, you can tell whether they are parallel or they are maybe your anti-parallel part of relation. Like when two vectors is numerically equal, the product of their magnitude is called as what right now? Collinear vectors, like A bar dot A bar if I'm taking right now. If angle between them is 0 or 180, it will be either plus AB or it will be your minus of your AB. That means if theta is 0, they are called parallel. If theta is 180, they are called as of your anti-parallel part of relation. So I can say that A bar dot B bar will be equal to, just keep a note and write otherwise basically, if it is possible for you. Otherwise, you can know it basically. If theta is equals to 0 degrees, this is known as of what? Parallel vectors. For parallel vectors, A bar dot B bar will be equal to your AB into your cos theta. Theta is nothing but 0. That will be equal to AB. Then, if theta is equals to 180 degrees, they are known as of your anti-parallel vectors. This one is also called as of your collinear vectors. Collinear means same direction. Theta is nothing but 180 degrees. They are called as of your anti-parallel vectors. So A bar dot of your B bar will be equal to your AB into your cos 180. Cos 180 is how much? Minus 1. So it is minus of your AB. So I can say that A bar dot B bar will be equal to magnitude of your A and magnitude of your B. That will be equal to magnitude of your AB. So I can say that A bar dot B bar will be equal to your magnitude of your A into B depending upon the value of your theta value, whatever you are getting. So if theta is 0, that is known as of your parallel vectors, are also called as of your collinear vectors. If theta is equal to 180 degrees, they are called as of your what? Anti-parallel vectors. Why anti-parallel vectors? Like if this is an A bar and this one is of your B bar, angle between them is how much? 180. If this is your A bar and this one is of your B bar, angle between them is how much will be? Collinear vectors. They are in the same direction. And A bar dot B bar will be equal to, A bar dot B bar will be equal to magnitude of your AB, magnitude of your AB part of relation. So if I take the magnitude of this one, that will become for me what? Positive term only. So I can write A bar dot B bar is equals to mod of your AB. Clear for everyone? And we are having still more depth to be going through the scalar product better before we start the vector product. And we need to do even lot number of your numericals. So I think even tomorrow we'll be trying to continue with your scalar product, a lot of their applications and lot of the good questions which have been asked in the previous JEE mains and as well as of your advanced exams part of relation. We'll try to discuss in the tomorrow session of the class. And be a little bit punctual to class better because we have 1 hour of your time. So I request everyone to come to the class 5 minutes before what you call 9. That means by 8:55 or 8:50, please try to be online for your class rather than I will be waiting for you. Today I almost waited for 10 minutes for your class. So I lost the 10 minutes. So make sure that by sharply 9, you try to be attend the online classes part of relation. From tomorrow onwards, I'm not going to wait for anyone. So make sure that by at least 8:55, you be ready to the class part of relation. Okay. And if you are having any doubts, you let me know on the WhatsApp group. And today from the SC Verma, you try to give a study of your dot product and see that if you have any doubts related to that one, underline that one and try to text me or send me on the WhatsApp group. I'll try to help you out with this one. We'll do lot number of numericals in tomorrow's section of a class beta. Okay? Sure.
Sir, we are having a test on Sunday, sir.
Sunday,
So,
sir?
yeah, we're planning for the test.
Okay.
It's chemistry and math. So
Okay.
the students are asking like, what will be the portion? So
Physics, we'll keep it before whatever the dot product is there, sir. Or else even if we can complete it by tomorrow. Today's Thursday and Friday.
yeah.
By tomorrow, whatever the portion will be completed, sir, that will be the portion for the exam.
Okay.
But tomorrow class, whatever we have been teaching,
Yeah.
up to till that point of the vectors, we'll be keeping an exam for them, sir.
Okay. I think students, you already listened to the sir, right? So
I'll
that
also
means the
send them
question.
some other files with the solutions, also some numericals. Ask them even to practice that one, basically. Some other assignments I'm having, like for the Bansals and quotas relatively. So right now, in this period of a time, we'll try to send them that assignments, let them practice so that they'll get an idea how the questions will be framed on the given condition, so that they can comfortably write examination even on the Sunday. And what the portion for the examination is, till the topic, whatever I teach it tomorrow. If it is completing up to the scalar product, that will be the portion. Even if you are completing the vector product also, then that will be the portion for the exam. So make sure that almost all 3/4 of your vectors chapter will be there for an exam part. So the portion is Friday class, whatever we have been teaching till that portion will be the exam for your Sunday's part of lesson. Even on Sunday, I will try to revise some numerical so that it will be helpful for you for the Sunday's exam. Okay, na, sir?
Okay, sir. So
Okay, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, students. So it will be the exam will be online. I think if you know the Google Forms, we'll be using that. Yeah. Somebody having questions? Hello. Yeah. If you have any question, just unmute and then ask your question.
No one is raised hand, sir.
Okay, Dhanush, do you have any questions? I think. Okay, Umar.
Unmute చేశా sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir,
Any questions? Yeah.
that online test, you will be sending the link or we should enter ourselves?
No. I'll be sending on the day. For example, if it is 10 o'clock, then the form will be sent like 9:55. It will be on the Zoom, so I'll be sharing that link.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to write that exam within that like 40 or 30 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So the next class will be maths. You will have like 10 minutes break. I think somebody sent email IDs in the group chat. So I already sent. Don't repeat. Like if you're receiving emails or previous class recordings, so in future also you will be receiving those. Okay, no need to send your email ID again. Only for the some of the new students joined in today. So. Okay, revision. So I think somebody sent in the chat. So maybe on Saturday we'll ask sir to revise the portion for the test. Okay. If you still have any questions, just ask me before the sir joins the class. Okay. Regarding the maths and chemistry portions, so maths sir will be joining soon. So we'll ask the portion, and chemistry we will send by tomorrow. Okay, I'll be sharing the email IDs which are added to the group. Okay, so if your email is not there, send me in the chat. Okay, everybody see the screen? No, Sumant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going through the email IDs, what we have. So if your email ID is missing, let me know. Okay. So these are the ones I have. So I'll be sending this week's class, that is from 4th, 5th and 6th. Okay. I think Shravanti, your email ID is already there. You haven't received any emails? Because I forwarded the previous class recordings.